Going on, guys? Welcome back to Smart Money Sundays. Hope you're doing very well and are excited to crush it again this week. Now, obviously last week was relatively choppy. It's been actually the last couple of weeks. Not the ideal price action, especially on kind of the pairs that we talk about typically on this series, being EU, GU, and AU. Okay, and so for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about EU quickly and then kind of branch out to a couple other crosses that I'm looking at. Okay, and so on Euro USD, all right, obviously last week we talked about how we wanted to run this trend line here, which we did, but ultimately we wanted us to come on back down to take out this low and these lows here. Clearly, we did not get that last week. Okay, we just ran the trend line liquidity. This low here was run out, accumulated, and rallied on up to the upside. Now this is where it gets somewhat tricky and why I'm going to be kind of sitting on my hands a little bit or a little bit cautious on EU and some of these dollar pairs, at least starting out this week. Okay, and so I'm kind of looking at this from two different perspectives, right? Ultimately, again, we still want this thing to come on down and take these out, okay? At least this low. Okay, ultimately, I think this low can be taken out. I don't see this as a low in the market from an enduring downtrend, okay? And so ultimately, again, the bias is to the downside, but we're in somewhat of a predicament here in terms of current price action, okay? Last week, we had the high, okay, and we ran up and engineered perfectly equal highs, right? That's something you love to see. You pull away, what are you doing? You're enticing premature sellers, okay? And you're, engineering the liquidity above the highs for those who are also breakout traders, okay? So given that we did create perfectly equal highs here and we ran them out, okay, and then snap back down within the range, that somewhat gives me pause in terms of looking to, to buy this thing for another leg. However, on the contrary, okay, having engineered these highs, I would have wanted to see price run up into this area, which I believe we mentioned in our live series on Trading Nut. If not, it was in one of our breakdown videos for our VIP members. Nevertheless, I would have wanted to see it run these equal highs up into our supply here. Okay, you can see it more clearly on the 2 hour. Instead, we ran it and we just kind of missed it, filling this inefficiency a little bit. Okay, but it would have been nice to really just dig in and confirm now that we have the equal highs. We ran, traded into supply, up close, sponsor candle, and then I'd be more, inclined to look at more downside on this. But because we didn't, I still think there's a possibility that this level might hold and produce one more run to the upside into 1,200, 1,220. Okay. Now, this level, to me, is going to be very critical. Okay, you can see here on the 2 hour time frame. Okay, digging into this level. So this is going to be something to watch this week. Okay, are we going to accumulate, sell to buy, trade into our last down close, and then get another move up? Possibly, yes. And this is why we need to wait and see in terms of kind of time and price, whether or not this is going to hold. And that's where we kind of zoom in here, lower time frame, okay, for the break of structure on the lower time frame for that confirmation. Okay, but I at least believe we are going to get a reaction here. Okay, getting a reaction doesn't mean we'll get a new high necessarily. Again, that's because, we ran these equal highs here. So this very well could now be our established high. Okay, so, we could get a reaction and then price could do something like this and then break down. Okay, or even trade a little higher and break down. Okay, so, these levels here are very critical and we're going to have to react and adapt when the time comes to it. But now you kind of understand my overall quandary, okay, and predicament because we didn't trade fully into this, okay, and ultimately we are still in a downtrend, so we want to see these lows run and ultimately this low also run, okay. So again, I'm just going to be patient. Here. Okay, no need to force anything. You know, this is a valid level. Okay, for a continuation. Okay, I can't discredit that. But again, I'm thinking from both perspectives here. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, so next one I kind of want to talk about, which I did break down on the live trading session on Trading Nuts YouTube channel, is AUD-CAD. All right, so this one obviously been trading down. We had the break of structure. We had the pullback, the higher low. Naturally, we would expect what? A higher high on this time frame. At least this high to be run out, the liquidity resting above this high to be taken. Okay, and so with that in mind, you know, we're looking lower time frame for opportunities for continuation. All right. And VIP, you already know this is our kind of our level we've been looking at. Absolute painful price action last week as we were expecting our kind of level to be met for continuations. Okay, but really what I'm looking at is a continuation of this lower time frame trend. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Looking to trade within this range. We have our inefficient pricing here. Okay, and so if we zoom in a little bit more, obviously equal lows run out, and here is our high volume candlestick. Okay, this is where this leg, this higher high, this is where that influx of volume, okay, originated. Okay, this is as far as we retraced this low of this wick as we continued up. All right. So we have an inefficiency that we want to get filled up in discount for one more move higher. Again, at least up into this high. All right, and so what you could do here is take the inefficiency, 50%. That would be kind of a conservative entry. Or personally, I would like to see kind of further discount down into here. For the continuation. Okay, so in all reality, this is kind of the buy zone for me. Okay, 50% of the inefficiency down into this last down close. I would like to see price run our equal lows here. Okay, very clean. You all can see that, it's pretty obvious. Run the equal lows, create that higher low, and then the new higher high. Okay, relatively simple and straightforward here on ACAD. All right, next up, let's talk about Euro GBP, which I also broke down for you guys on the live session last Wednesday. All right, and so I pointed out that what do we have? A retail inverse head and shoulders. All right, and so most people obviously looking at the neckline breakout, okay, looking for the break and retest as a trend reversal pattern. Okay, and I told you, okay, watch out for that. Watch out because that's what the textbooks teach. In reality, we have, the way I'm looking at it, as neckline liquidity, okay, to be run out while we trade into this up close here, which ran out these highs, okay, sorry, these highs. Okay, so up close, expansionary move. Okay, so this is our true up close, trading through that. And I told you to look out for this region, snap back down. Okay, and trap those retail traders, trading the inverse head and shoulders. Sure enough, we did. Okay, very clean. We didn't quite trade up into the level I was looking for, a little bit higher, kind of 8,520. Okay, but this engulfing candlestick is indicative of what I was talking about. All right, so in terms of the here and now, I'm not going to rule out the possibility of one more sweep higher, okay? But in all reality, I think, we grabbed what was needed in terms of the inverse head and shoulders. You got the people trapped, retail traders, trading the break and retest, boom, they're done for. Okay, so now, looking for that simple retracement and the continuation back on down to the downside. And ultimately, again, we've been talking about for a while, what is our target? It's this old gap on the weekly time frame. Okay? So make sure you're marking off all of these levels on your charts. Very, very important to be monitoring these levels at the proper times of day and sessions. Okay? Lots of value handed out for free on these calls. All right? So, last one today I want to talk about is Cad Swiss Franc. Okay? Now, this one, okay, is somewhat similar to Euro GBP, except we're looking to take advantage of the head and shoulders. Okay? We have the head, the left shoulder, the head. Okay, looking to form that. Sorry, that is a crude drawing. But we are looking to take advantage of the right shoulder here. Okay. Now, obviously, this thing is in a massive uptrend, so we are looking to sell at the right shoulder. Okay, down into demand, whereby I believe retail traders are going to be trapped again. All right, so this being our neckline, the liquidity resting beneath the neckline, I want to get run out. So we're going to sell into the liquidity, and then we're going to buy for a new higher high. Okay, that's the way I'm looking at it right now. If you look on the higher time frame, I do believe we can trade up into 7,580, 7,600, where all of this liquidity was run out. Okay, so that's going to be the ultimate higher time frame objective here on Cad Swiss. All right, so zooming in, we've got some nice equal lows, nice up close candle. Here's supply. That's going to be the POI. All right, and you can even zoom into this and refine the entry. Okay, you can see this kind of inefficiency here. Whoops. Wick to wick. All right, so it would be beautiful if we just continued up, maintain these perfectly equal lows, trade it up into this. You could even look at this candlestick as your refined entry point, okay, and then look to sell this thing down into the neckline liquidity, whereby we'll be looking for accumulation and another rally. Okay, so and this is really something where you have to kind of dial yourself in and understand, how retail traders are taught to think, how they're taught to trade, what are the masses, what patterns are they trading, and understand how the market is presenting to them so we can understand the opposite perspective. Okay, so I think this looks really clean. Again, like all the others, we wait for time and price, which is my ultimate confirmation, okay, for all my trades. Okay, I need to have the proper time of day when price is trading into these levels that I kind of hand out to you guys. Okay, that's the most important piece to the puzzle, in my opinion. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode. It was a little atypical as we didn't go over our usual pairs, but nevertheless, really good value, I think, handed out today. If you have any questions, feel free to message us on Instagram at Ariel__FX, or head over to our website, arielfxtrading.com, so you can take part in our VIP Discord. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week.